Man, just got back in from a hard day of work. Man, I'm freaking ready to go relax and everything. What the heck? What's the time? Oh no. Oh no. It's 9:55. That can only mean one.
1 minute later.
When they're 956, out of sight, had sticks on my side. I zip when I fly, live when they're not.
Man, I just think I'm losing focus.
Fight! Yeah, I could've whoop up in the action. Whoa, I said I whoop up in the action. Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Josh's Review Corner. And on this episode, we're going to be reviewing A3's latest album, Escape Calling. A3 is a repeat guest on this channel. He is no stranger to the corner. Last year, he had dropped his project Sacred Calling, and the year before that, he had dropped the project I'd Go to Hell for You, both of which I really enjoyed for different reasons. I'd Go to Hell for You had this very raw, experimental aesthetic, whereas Sacred Calling continued to refine that raw aesthetic, continued to push more experimental music and production onto the projects. But Escape Calling brings us to a new era of A3, and the question is he continuing to refine that sound? Is he continuing to bring experimental production? What is this project bringing us? But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to some of the production and writing credits on this. You'll see some names that you've seen before in the space. You'll see that Enzo Gran has produced on this album. I mean, at this point, what hasn't Enzo Gran produced on this year? I think you will look at any album that's made by someone in CHH this year that dropped, it'll have Enzo Gran on the production credits. We also have some other producers such as Mags96. We also have Plant Cham, a couple of other notable producers like Sapture on there as well. You also have Andrew Prim being tapped in for the production of Secret Place with Blaine Taylor. So we have a host of producers on this album, and what does that really bring for the sound of this project? What it brings for the sound of this project, I think, is a more refined sound, and I think that it brings us A3's best project to date. And to kind of put that in the most concise way possible, I think the only way to do that is by telling you what my favorite songs are from the project. And I want to start with the intro song, Coping Mechanisms. Love this beat, love how low-key it is. It's a great opener because it introduces you with those strings. It doesn't have any drums really going on with it. It just really has a bunch of synths in the production. Also, you have this one synth that comes in that reminds me of a lot of, weirdly enough, Tell Me What I Don't Know by Danny Brown. A3 is just being very raw and vulnerable and honest with his lyrics in here, and I just really love what he's doing on this opener. Also want to talk about another favorite, which is Escapism, the very next track. The way this track is introduced, it gives Travis Scott 2014 vibes a lot with those synths, but it takes its own A3 twist on it, brings in these heavy drums. I also love the lyrical content of this song. I love this one line he says, "I want to change the world, but I can't even change my mood." That's a big thing with Escape Calling. A big message on this project is that, you know, he deals with the fact that he moved from the 956 to Atlanta, and that's a big theme, hence the name Escape Calling, but also this idea of escapism and how you try to escape your problems, you try to leave those problems in the 956, but you still have these same problems. So really, what is at play? What is really causing the problems? Is it where I'm from, or are these problems something deeper? And I love that he's hitting on this, and that's why I also love this project, is because it doesn't just feel like he's trying to make good songs. It feels like A3 is trying to give us a message with these songs, and I think he gets that message across very clearly. And Escapism really hits at that idea. Coping Mechanisms really hits at that idea. Another song, continuing down this line, another favorite, Free From Sin. This might be my favorite song of the entire year. The production on this is incredibly experimental. You start out with this like almost a house beat with how crazy these drums are, with how crazy the melodies are, and then you have this insane transition into this heavy trap style drum production at the midway point, Just an insane track. DJ Michael V provides some narrating vocals, and he says God always on the back half. I love that part, and then it goes into the conclusion of the track. Free From Sin, amazing song, really heavy production, really great lyrics. Hook is incredibly good. I mean, some of the best writing on a hook that you'll see this year. Say I'm this, say I'm that, like that. Ooh, I'm not gonna do that here because I'm in public, and I might embarrass myself. Free From Sin, incredible track, one of my favorite tracks of the entire year. Another track I really like, Aim for the Chest. Aim for the Chest, these pitched up vocals, they sound incredibly, this Kevin Abstract inspired for sure, Brockhampton inspired for sure. Love this song, love the production, incredibly experimental. I love when those synths come in, those cascading synths, just adds a whole nother texture, and I just love it. It's just a banger, just a fire song. And really, that's all of my favorites from the first half of this album. And that's another thing I want to bring up about this album, is that this album is divided into two halves. The first half has all the bangers in it, has all the heavier trap sounds in it. But the second half takes a much more melodic, atmospheric production selection, and it tries to get more intimate with you. And to kick that intimate side off, I love the intro to this, Confessions of a Runaway. You have some wonderful background vocals provided here by Caleb Mitchell. And in general, this atmospheric, cloudy production really sets the mood for the entire second half, and I love what he's doing here. Another favorite I want to point out here is the song Secret Place. You know, Free From Sin's my favorite track on here, but Secret Place is probably my second favorite song. I love Blaine Taylor's feature and what he adds here. The poetry in his writing is just so rich, and that's really another thing with this project. It's just really rich in the writing front, but Blaine Taylor adds a nice bit of richness to this project. Love what Blaine Taylor does here. Also, you have the strings being provided by Enzo Grant, and those strings provide a nice bit of texture as well in the production. Adds a bit of diversity in the production, because up until this point in the second half, you're just hit with a lot of atmospheric stuff. These strings provide a little bit of grit. And then another thing I really like is the way the track progresses, the way the production progresses. So you have these strings and this intro bit, right? But then you transfer into this atmospheric part where A3 is saying my head's stuck in the clouds, like playing into the fact that it's atmospheric. But then after you get this atmospheric part, you get all the instruments coming in, clashing, almost providing this cathartic moment where he provides this chant, and it just culminates into a really amazing song. Really love Secret Place, and that will do it for my favorites. As far as my least favorite track on this project, I would definitely say it's See What You See featuring Christian Aparicio. I don't think either of them give a bad performance. I think really the problem with this song is it's a bit too atmospheric. Like, there's a good idea going on here, but it's just a bit, it just needs a little bit more texture. Either that or it needs a little bit more on the writing front, I think. But I mean, by no means do I think it's a bad song. It just needs something. It's missing something to me. Now, here are my overall thoughts. I love this project. I think this project is definitely one of the 5 best projects that dropped from this past year. I think that this is A3's best project to date. I'm excited to see what he does going forward. I think just as something he could think about for this project and something else going forward is you have some wonderful ideas here in the production. Like Paid by the Stick is a wonderful idea. Aim for the Chest, wonderful song. I just think that maybe these tracks could have been longer, especially Paid by the Stick. Paid by the Stick feels like it comes and goes so fast. I feel like I was left wanting more from that track. So maybe just, if you have those shorter songs, continuing to flesh out those ideas, even if it takes a little bit of extra work, you know, just continue to flesh it out. But I mean, that is such a nitpick to really talk about with this project. It is an excellent album. Love the fact that it's divided into 2 halves. Love the transition pieces. Overall, just a really solid project. If I had to give this project anything out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Loving what he's doing here. I'm going to do something different today. Typically on the corner, I would conclude by telling the audience to give their thoughts, but I thought to myself, why don't I just go out into the wild and ask random people what they think about this project? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and ask random people about this project. This is Josh's Review Corner. We're going to find a random person to listen to Free From Sin, get their thoughts. Let's go. Okay, so we didn't have luck with finding any people on the street, so now we're about to pull up to this Chick-fil-A drive-thru, see what's up. Let's go. So, I just played for the wonderful people at Chick-fil-A, Free From Sin by A3. What are you guys' thoughts on that song?
It's really fire. It sounds. The beat drop goes crazy. I give it a good 9.
Nah, 20 out of 10.
20 out of 10.
Not a
low-key, yeah.
6-7. No, I'm just
I mean, 6, 7, 6, 7.
It's cool. It's
awesome.
cool. It was
Thank
cool,
you,
yeah.
man. Thank you guys. Thank you. Man,
got
you guys
you.
have been awesome.
You're amazing.
Appreciate you. Yes.
Keep playing it.
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. Well, hang on. We're playing it. Okay. We'll see you guys. Hey, see ya.
Yeah, he's what the